I had a question. Often it's said that creating space and slowing down by pause in between experience and reaction is necessary. So my question is, how should I slow down or practice a pause? Do we slow down our bodily movements and facial expressions of tongue or smile, or do we pause, literally stopping? Okay, we'll start with that one. So this was in response to the panic video. So I'm assuming this is just in response to very difficult emotional experiences. Could be in relationships, but I'm imagining from the panic that it's probably just to the difficult symptoms. Yeah, the pause here is that we are practicing skills. So we are observing the thoughts and feelings and metaphorically stepping back. And this could be a literal pause if it's a situation where you can, i.e., you're on your own and you're walking around the world or you're doing a task which doesn't have an immediate deadline or other people involved in. Yeah, you could literally stop, sit down, or keep walking, or you pause whatever you are doing and you practice a round of, say, dropping anchor or something else. Now, often in life, these symptoms come up when we're in more high demand situations. So we're talking to people, we're doing tasks that we can't really break off from, in which case it might be a very small internal pause of just dropping anchor in 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And I'm using dropping anchor as a sort of generic act acceptance and commitment therapy skill to use here, but it could be just mindfully noticing the thoughts and feelings briefly and then refocusing back. So it's more this sort of psychological pause. Now, we might slow down. I like in social connection, if we're talking, I mean, we could be talking about different emotions here. With panic and more the anxious stuff, we could slow down and you literally speak more slowly because anxiety will make you speed up and try and get your stuff out of the way so that you're not taking up any space, or it gives you that kind of fight or flight response. So you start acting more erratically and talking very fast like this. So you might literally slow down your voice and slow down your behavior. I notice for me, when I'm anxious, sometimes I am rushing physically, and I certainly have rushed what I say a lot when I'm anxious. So it could be a literal slowing down of your speech, not to obviously a level which starts to sound odd, or a slowing down of movement to a level which affects the task that you're doing. So that if you're playing a sport, you're slowing down and you're getting hit in the head by the ball, but it's like a slowing down within the parameters of what you're doing. And in some ways, it might be a balance thing as well, not overly slowing down, but just finding a more comfortable pace because anxiety tends to speed us up. Same with anger, it could be slowing down because anger makes you want to say what you want to say and go into this aggressive mode. And so you might slow down so that you can choose your words more carefully. I like this practice of watching my words, my mouth, what I'm saying, watching the reaction in the other person and slowing down. So it could be a literal slowing down, but it all starts from the slowing down, the pausing of the internal skills, and then flowing out into how we're talking. So our inner intentional self-talk for some time or pause. Yeah, you could use self-talk to support this. You could be reminding yourself to slow down. You could be reminding yourself to pause, to use skills. Pause our outer body movements or facial expressions or tongue or reactions. Yeah, it could be literally pausing. If we feel we're talking very anxious, we could literally pause everything and take a breath. Or if we're angry and we feel it's hijacking us, we could pause and literally slow everything down. So some of these questions you probably couldn't give a rule for every situation. It's more flexible than that. But generally, it's an inner pause for a second, couple of seconds to a minute, depending on whether you're on your own or you're with other people or what task you're doing. You can slow down for longer if you're on your own. And then we are potentially pausing talking or pausing action for a moment to reset and to listen. Maybe we want to listen more in communication, and then we are maybe literally slowing down what we're saying to counter the anxiety or to counter anger. Or with shame, we might be going quiet, and so we might make ourselves talk more and take space. So it really depends on the emotion and the context, but hopefully this gives you some ideas. Pause in automatic experiences like thoughts, emotions, urges, impulses. Yeah, it could be urge surfing. If the urge in anxiety is to run away, it could be to pause, urge surf, and stay present. If the urge in anxiety is to talk very quickly and get my speaking over and done with, or to not talk because of anxiety and sort of controlling myself, yeah, we could urge surf that and do the opposite action, as they say in dialectical behavior therapy. So, actually talking if we have the urge to go quiet, slowing down if the urge is to talk too quickly, um, slowing down if we urges to say too much. Some people will talk too much when they're anxious, other people won't, will go quiet. So it depends on your presentation. Um, with anger, yeah, it could be for one person, urge surfing the urge to say mean comments that are hurtful and to reframe it into something that's assertive and more focused on getting a win-win scenario. For another person, it could be urge surfing, punching a cupboard door, or taking the anger out on something externally. In extreme situations where people have anger management, it could be surfing the urge to violence and things like that. So it really depends on the emotion we're talking about in the situation. But yeah, it could be like that. What should we majorly focus on? I assume, shall we focus on allowing the things that are in our control or focusing on things in our control, like intentional self-talk or controlling body movements or facial expressions? Yeah, I think you can, in these situations, control the things under your control. So, using supportive, helpful self talk, compassionate self talk, or coaching yourself in skills self talk, yes, you could use that. Controlling body movements or face and expressions, yes, you might be taking control of those things to reflect your values and what you want in the situation. Allowing the things outside of our control, the internal anxiety, the difficult thoughts, the other difficult emotions. I'd say you almost want to be balancing these things, sort of, and it's almost like a dance between accepting those internal things out of control, focusing and engaging in the things that are in our control. And then you might get another wave of internal experiences that are out of control, which you use your skills with, and you sort of dance back and forth between these things. So really, you want to put focus on both of these, but you can't, with consciousness, we can only focus on a certain amount of things at one time. So it's not really that you're doing all of these things in one time. You're sort of dancing between each of them. Some things you can do at the same time. So you might be able to, you can walk and talk at the same time, but that's because walking has become very automatic and unconscious to us. Something like being accepting of emotions may take more cognitive bandwidth. So you might need to dance back and forth between engaging and controlling the things you can and then accepting the emotion. But in time, you might be able to let the emotion be accepted in the background and engage in the foreground because you become more automatic in it, a bit like the walking example.